Westeros!
And welcome to our Morning Throners podcast.
I'm Nelson.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are your Morning Throners.
And welcome back to another episode of your favorite Song of Ice and Fire podcast. We are your Morning Throners, and we got episode 2 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms on deck. Nels, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing? How you thinking about it?
Well, this episode was way better.
I don't know if it's better or just like I knew what to expect. I feel like the same type, but like they start off with the big dick joke, which is not much better than the. And I still don't really like the way they're treating Sir Arlen, but I feel like the same as you. I like this episode way better, but I think it's more because I knew it. I don't know. The tone was set for me, so I knew what to expect more than it was actually better. I think I told you off camera. I'll say it here for the viewers. I did rewatch the first one, obviously.
So did I. I did it today, or maybe yesterday.
Personally, I liked it better on a rewatch again I think for the same reason. I just kind of knew what I was getting into a little bit more.
I think we could enjoy it because we kind of know what's to come, right? There's part of it, right?
Oh, good point. So the way we do this is we have a non-spoiler section where we'll talk about it like kind of in general in a non-spoilery way, not letting on anything to know for the future episodes, and then we'll go into like a more chronological through the episode talking about spoilers there. Good point, because
you were about to just drop spoilers.
I forgot. That's how we did it. Exactly.
All right. So I will concur with you that I liked it more on the rewatch. I think a big part of it is, and I think a lot of people like this, is that they brought Dunk and Egg to life. Like, those two are great.
Actors kill it, and they're pretty accurate to the book. I do have a big problem. Not a big problem. There's a problem growing with me with Dunk that it's not spoilery, but so I'll say it now, I guess. I have a big problem with Dunk I have two big problems with the shows, Arlen and Dunk. And I say big problems. They're not big problems. I like the show. I think Dunk, he even says it in this episode, I'm stupid. People always call me stupid. He's definitely not as stupid
He's just
in the show as he is in the book.
You think he's more stupid in the book?
For sure.
I mean, he's acting pretty goofy, right? Like, he's walking the wrong direction. Like
I'll say this scene right now. So the scene where he kind of goes in and walks in on the Targaryens. In the book, he's not like spying on them. He it's like kind of a bigger hall. He walks in because he's kind of supposed to be there, and that's why Baelor says we're the intruders here. That line doesn't make any sense in this episode because he's definitely like spying on them. But in the book, he actually like does kind of like come in there. He's supposed to go in there for his meeting about like is he a knight or not. So that's why Baelor says it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And Dunk doesn't realize who Baelor is till like halfway through the conversation. Again, that wouldn't make sense in the show because there was like the big herald that like when they showed up and he was out there like this is Baelor Targaryen. So they kind of like announced who he was. So they didn't do that in the book. So it makes sense that Dunk wouldn't know who he is when he walks in. So they changed the circumstance a little bit, but things like that make Dunk look like a huge idiot in the in the books that they
in the books because he doesn't recognize the heir to the throne.
Yeah, and this might just be an editing thing, but I feel like a lot of times, at least the way I always like took it when I read it, was like when somebody asks Dunk a question, he like has to think, like even if it's like kind of a simple answer. And here he's kind of like it's kind of quick, with his responses, and it makes him, I don't know, to me just seem less lunkish.
I don't know. I think he looks pretty lunkish a lot. Like the conversation with Egg just in front of the tug of war, where he's like, "People always call me stupid," and then like you're like waiting for him to like come with the second half, like. He's walking the wrong direction. But then he like rattles off like great speeches too. So like that's not very lunky. Like him talking in front of Baelor, he didn't really stumble at all.
Yeah, exactly. That scene, exactly. And he does in the book, I feel like.
Or even him to the Tyrell guy to start, like he was speaking very eloquently of Arlen, which I don't really care. Like that's not the stuff that bothers me.
Well, hang on. Here's another example. I think you kind of hit on it. When he's talking to Baelor and he says, you're going to be a good king one day or something like that. Or the realm will be good in your hands. And Baelor says, not anytime soon, I hope.
Yeah.
And Dunk's like, real quick, he's like, oh no, I'm sorry. In the books, it like takes him a second. He's like, wait. And like, you know what I mean? It takes me a second to put together. And it might be an editing thing. Like when he acted it out, he might have taken like a while. It might have been an editing thing. But I don't know.
In the same breath then, he says to Makar, like, oh, I'm sure we'll find him not dead. Like,
that's true. That's true. Like, that is a good line. That he says something stupid in the books too, but that is stupider than what he says in the books. That's fair. He is stupider than the books sometimes as well. But.
So let me just say this on episode one more time, because I mean we got a comment that said like we're too critical. it's still a 7-point episode for me. Like, you can't watch that first episode and say it was a 9 something. You just can't. Like, it was fine. And I go back to, again, if you are watching that, if you're watching that episode, the pilot episode of the show, and for the first time you don't have any clue who Dunk and Egg are, you're probably like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
I just don't know. This is what I say. I don't know if there was enough mystery to keep it going. Now, again, I could be wrong, but I don't think. Yeah, so that I'll just say that.
That's kind of why I feel like we're missing out a little bit by not having your wife. I feel like normally your wife watches these with you a little bit, but this is a little bit later on and stuff, and 2 babies now, so busy life. But
a lot of times she just asks a lot of questions, and I'm like, just watch the show.
Well, so I guess all we really have to go on here is I've seen a few like reviews and stuff from people who are who haven't read the books, and it seems like most people are pretty attached to Dunk. They just like they seem like it's Game of Thrones world, so they like that because they're like most people are like they've seen Game of Thrones, haven't read the books, but now they're going to this show, so it's like Game of Thrones world, but it's like a good guy finally, like. Not that he's like great at fighting, but he's just like a kind-hearted dude, and you just don't get that much in Game of Thrones, which is like why I love Dunk to begin with. Like it's why you know what I mean.
You shed a tear tonight, I'm sure. I bet you shed a tear.
Not tonight. I was close. I was closer last night at the falling star moment, but not tonight. I feel like there was no close moment.
No. I thought you'd be closer. Wow, really? Okay. So just some non-spoiler things that I thought. The dick. I was like, wow, okay, but it makes the poop when you go back now. Like, if it's just gonna be like some random like shit that's gonna like catch you off guard, like,
like a
oh my
shock
gosh,
factor
like,
almost, yeah.
Like I'll be okay with it, right? It was fine. Like, okay, Arlen has a huge hog, sweet.
I don't want to say it's Quentin Tarantino-esque because it's not Quentin Tarantino-esque, but like I feel like this director or this like showrunner or whatever, he has like I don't know anything else he's made. Maybe he has like a long catalog of stuff that's not like this, but I feel like by the end of the season we're gonna be like, you could tell an episode that this guy you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's not like some like at least one weird moment in it.
Yeah. No,
He's got like a quirky, kind of like a slightly quirky nature to his shit. I don't even know if it's a directing or a writing or whatever thing, but
I'm just going through my notes to find like other stuff to say now.
So again, I don't want this to sound like I don't like the episode, but I'm just pointing out the negative points because I feel like it's easier to talk about those. The other thing I don't like is Arlen. I feel like they are fixing him a little. It's a little bit better in this episode than it was in episode 1. But
I think Arlen's pretty cool. Like I don't know anything about Arlen, and I've read him twice now, right? Like Arlen was his guy that taught him how to be a true knight. I don't feel like that's not true. Like Arlen's a little bit goofy. He's singing songs. He's going like, what don't you like? That he's like going around like he's whoring and things like that. Or
so since episode 1, I started rereading the novella just because I'm an idiot. Nerd. And I think within like the first page, there's a thing where Dunk says the old man had often praised his strength. He had always been generous in his praise. It was all he had to give. And this is what he's thinking about Arlen as he's burying him. Right? Again, and some people are saying
that they didn't mention that.
No, that line, and there's a few lines like that throughout the book if you get it. But that's literally in the first page. I just thought like it just makes Arlen seem more like and I'm fine if he's like horn around, but like I just want a flashback scene. And again, we get another moment where Dunk talks about it. Right in the episode 1, there's a moment where Dunk says something like Arlen always said that a hedge knight was the truest kind of knight. We don't ever see him say that in a flashback. And in this one, again, he has that like sentimental scene with Egg where he's like, Arlen was this, and he taught me how to be honorable. Like, okay, can we just see one flashback of that?
I think
what I see
I think they're working up to it, but
what I see some fans online saying is that Dunk was just too stupid. Like they're saying that like I guess they're trying to make the book and the show mesh, and they're saying that Dunk thinking that Arlen was being generous was really him insulting Dunk, and Dunk just like being too stupid to understand. Kind of like Gran at the Wall being like, "Oh, you're strong as an Aurochs, you big Aurochs," but really he's kind of making fun of him for being dumb, and Dunk just is taking it the wrong way because he's dumb. Which, okay, if that's like the show Arlen, and that's kind of more the vibe I'm getting of show Arlen than I am of.
I would say that could be true. I get that. It could definitely be that vibe where it's like, yeah, you're so strong, you Like, I don't know. Like, you're so strong, you're a castle wall, and you're as thick as one too. Like, when you think about how he would, even those things like his famous word, like you're as thick as a castle wall, Dunk. Like, it's kind of a shot at him.
Yeah, that is insulting for sure.
And he probably said that the most, or clout in the ear, right?
I guess for me, if that's the Arlen character they're going with, I'm cool with it. I guess.
Yeah.
I just want them to like make a clear decision on if like show me a flashback where he is being like really mean, or I guess like him saying night and like spitting is like one, but
yeah, they had a cool moment under the tree in the rain.
Yeah, where they're laughing.
Yeah, like
yeah.
So what I'm gonna say is I think they're gonna work up to like a moment where Dunk is, he kind of had like an anxious moment tonight thinking about a lot of stuff while the joust was going on. At some point, I bet he taps into like an Arlen, like motivation speech type of thing, or like.
I was about to drop a spoiler, but yes, remind me I'm gonna write that down in my notes. I'm gonna bring that up when we're gonna get in the spoiler section.
Okay. I'll say this too. It's not a negative because I think it got wiped away pretty quickly. I was a little bit worried about Egg. The actor's obviously young, and I feel like a lot of what he did is on the same tone in the first episode. Like, it was all sarcasm. It's all pretty, and then like he showed some really fun personality today. I think he's like, especially when he's like cheering on the joust, and then he's like worried about like can he hold can he get the lance in time, right? Like,
I think he did a lot of good stuff with his face too. Like when Dunk's talking to Tansel, and he just like makes him like, "What the fuck are you saying?" Or even when Dunk like the scene you were saying when they're like drinking by the tug of war, and Dunk just stops the store, and Egg,
he's like,
Egg's
"What the fuck?"
Face is just like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, no, he's so. I was a little worried just because everything in the first episode was kind of one-notey with him.
Yeah,
but then he winked at the falling star too. So like. But I think he really shined. He really shined as Egg today.
Yeah, that smile that Egg gave at the falling star, when it clicked for Dunk, again, that's like, I feel like there's moments where they make Dunk lunky, and I love them. But I feel like his scene-to-scene interaction, he isn't, which I guess makes sense. It might get annoying to make him like just slow all the time, but
yeah. All right, so I just have some other like non-spoilery things that I thought were cool.
Yep.
I mean, I guess there's a lot, but.
One problem I have, I'll mention it now because it's non-spoilery. In the books, he sells his horse.
Which one was that? Chestnut?
Sweetfoot. He sells the horse Sweetfoot before he gets his shield painted.
He knew he needed that coin before.
The only thing that I think really happens out of order, he actually commissions the armor before he sells Sweetfoot in the book. So that's right, where he puts 2 silver down. That's true. The only thing that happens out of order is he doesn't get his shield painted.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about the order.
It doesn't really matter. The problem is he doesn't have like any money.
Yeah. He needed to sell the horse to.
Probably not. It was probably like, I think if you go back in the book, I think we can do the math to figure out exactly how much money he had, because we know how much he had, and then he had to pay for he spent some in the inn or something like that.
He bought dinner.
Yeah, but I think we know how much it costs or something like that. But anyway, we know how much he has. So I think he probably could have made it work even without selling Sweetfoot, but
he probably couldn't have bought the armor though. He needed 600 of them.
Yeah, but he puts 2 down and still pizza. You have a day,
so he has 598 to find. That's what I'm saying. Like, he definitely needs to sell something.
Yeah, he sells Sweetfoot.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he would have needed to sell something for his armor.
Yeah,
I'm not too worried about the order of which he bought it in. I actually thought him selling Sweetfoot would have been the moment that you got emotional.
They didn't lead up to it enough. I don't know. They made a bigger deal of it in the books.
I guess I'd rather talk kind of more spoilerly than not.
Yeah, let me see if there's anything else I have.
Sorry for the fans that are watching this for the first time and don't want to get spoiled on things.
Yeah, general points, I guess. I just like the Dunk and Egg interactions. You kind of said that. And the joust at the end. It was badass. I thought it was just like cool scenes.
Great scenes. The joust was this like the opening ceremony, or was this like the first joust? Like, did this count for the list?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a couple problems. One, how the hell are they jousting with 6v6?
It's 5v5.
But so like, is it 1-on-1? What if my horse ends up in like another tunnel? Do I start jousting against that guy?
Yeah, that's unclear. It is supposed to be 1v1. So even though 5 are going at the same time, they're all individual. It's not really 5 on. Yeah, it's not 5 on.
The other thing, it seemed like you got knocked off your horse. You lost. You lose.
In this tourney, I don't think so. I think you can like
Okay.
continue on foot, but it might be a thing where like both people have to agree. Like the person who fell can get up and try and fight, and if the other person, I think technically the other person could just run you down on their horse then. But normally they'll get off to be honorable. I think maybe that happens. I think in one person gets off to be honorable and they finish on foot. But yeah, normally it ends when they get knocked off.
Yeah, I know how later on we'll see more jousts for sure, but. Like the guy fucking matrix backed on his horse, which was sweet, cool, awesome.
I think he matrixed on somebody else's horse actually.
Well, then that's illegal.
That's breaking a rule. Yeah, it looked like he popped up there because I think it was a Tyrell who fell down and he popped up with a Harding shield.
I saw some cool sigils there. Was there a high tower?
There was a high tower. The Targaryen. There should have been 2 Ashfords. The Tyrell guy. Not Tyrell, Tully guy.
Yeah, just fighting a fish.
That was crazy. But yeah, the joust was cool. So
joust was dope.
I was hoping Egg was gonna be yelling out more names, but again, I'm sure that's just me being a history and like just like 1 to 10 minutes. They made the sigils match, so that's good enough. I do need to go back and slow down the scene, obviously. Oh, the other thing I want to mention is Florian and Jonquil story. We don't really have much. We don't know much about that story itself, except it's mentioned a lot. I think. Pretty much what they showed was pretty 1-to-1 to what's in the novella, so I don't think we learned much. But that's another scene I'll probably be going back to and watching and slow down.
Yeah, I'm trying as I'm watching. I'm trying to remember, like even though I know what happens, I don't remember scene by scene in the novella. So
yeah, I've read it like probably like 3 times in the past month. So
I know the tug of war isn't a thing, right? Like
that's not in there.
So okay, let's jump in. I want to just hit before we go timeline just. Quick things that
so spoiler alert you're saying
spoiler alert yeah are you good for spoiler?
Yeah, let's do it.
Spoiler alert alright, so I think episode 1 would have been better. I don't think the hint at who Egg, and again I guess you'd be pretty thick as a castle wall to not, like if you saw a trailer or if you even read the description of the show, right? Like the Egg being a Targaryen is kind of the mystery of it all, right? In the first episode, like Dunk doesn't know yet.
No one should know, even now. I think
nobody should know. I think if there was a little bit of a hint of it, right, when the Targaryen showed up and Egg wanted to skedaddle.
Yeah, I think that's fine. That kind of matches the novella. It's not exactly the same, but Egg basically tells Dunk, I do not want to go in the castle. I do not want to go in the castle. Yeah. And Egg's like, I would be afraid to go in the castle when I was younger too. So that's what he's thinking. Yeah. But I like how they did it.
I think for a first show watcher, first time watcher with no book experience, if there was a little bit bigger of a hint in episode 1 of who Egg was, I don't think the Daron being drunk in the inn was a big enough hint to who Egg, the stable boy, was.
I think if you think about it, like if you go back and actually just like take any time to think, it is a little bit of a hint because Egg says that's not my mom. Like if you were a first time watcher that watched it twice, I think you probably have enough to think.
But how many people watch an episode twice?
Yeah, first time watcher probably not. So I have watched like 2 or 3, I think, reaction videos like on YouTube, like where somebody will react to the first episode and they're a first time watcher. The problem I have is I think everyone who's seen Game of Thrones, when they watch that end scene that I've seen, they can be as clueless as a rock. And when Daron puts down the golden dragon, they're like, oh, he's a Targaryen.
Yeah.
And I don't think they think that because he's rich. I think they think that because they see the Targaryen sigil on
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just because he's rich and it's a golden dragon.
Lot of money. Yeah.
And again, they made Daron's hair silver when Daron's hair should be brown. So I don't, again, not a huge problem, but...
Mm-hmm. Silver might be a stretch. I don't know how silver it was. I don't remember. Is Baelor... one thing I like is that, I don't know if it's supposed to be true, Baelor doesn't have Targaryen features at all.
Correct. Yes, correct.
And Vaelor as well, his son.
Valar, correct. And that's because Baelor and Maekar's mom is Dornish.
Gotcha.
So they're kind of getting the Dornish features.
Go strong.
Yep.
So that's cool. It's cool that like now we have Targaryens, and I think it opens up.
Hey, I think in the book Valar, so the son is brown hair with like a silver streak. So he has like one silver streak in it or something. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Either way, I think it's just cool that we've now actually gotten away from everybody with high Valyrian blood has to have silver hair.
Yeah, so I guess it is a good point to mention. I put out a video called, I forget what the title is, but if you look at the thumbnail, it's called "Keeping Up with." On the thumbnail, it says "Keeping Up with the Targaryens."
Play, good play.
You like that? Yeah.
E Network might come sue you, but pretty good.
So the video you can jump around. It's just a timeline or family tree video. You guys know I like my timelines and family trees. There, I do cover the timeline at the very beginning, but then I go into a family tree. It's completely non-spoilery. We're in the spoiler section now, so you guys probably know, but it'll go help you connect the dots between who Baelor, Maekor, Egg, Aerion, Valar, who they all are, and how they're connected. So, and it goes into the Blackfire stuff, which they did mention a little bit in this episode too, which we should talk about.
You didn't like that either.
I did like that.
Baelor, Maekar, and then Aerion. Is he the third brother, or is he?
Aerion is Maekor's son. Egg's brother.
He is Egg's brother. Okay. I thought we had thought that they were cousins, but they're brothers. Okay, that makes it easier.
Yep.
All right, so let's jump in timeline.
Chronological. Yep.
Yeah. Arlen's big dick. It's a hog. It's a whole hog.
Yeah. So again, I don't think I have anything wrong with Arlen in this episode. It doesn't really. I think, like you said, I think the laughing under the tree. If I have an Arlen needle on how much I like what they're doing with Arlen or not, episode 1 really swayed it away with the spitting when he asked, like, am I supposed to be a knight thing?
Yeah.
Because that, to me, again, that feels like the opposite of all he had to give was praise, so he was generous with his praise, right? Again, to me, that's an Arlen thing. It's in the first page of the novella.
Yeah, but again, we're dealing with a stupid person.
Yeah, sure. So again, in this episode, everything they did with Arlen sways the needle to the positive. I think most of the big dick stuff, take it or leave it, it's either way. I think it is kind of sad how he basically shows that he had a cut on his arm, right? And he's dying from that. But the whole time, even though he's dying, he's kind of still happy-go-lucky, singing his song, even when he's about to fall off his horse.
Yeah, till the fever just takes over or whatever.
It's just too late. Yep. Kind of is how it goes in the books. And again, they're using a lot of lines straight out of the books. They're kind of doing them in different orders. Like, they're taking lines out of different parts, but hey, I like it for the most part.
I thought it was a cool tribute for him as he's talking to the Tyrell about, like, you know, he didn't do this. He just wanted to do that. He was generous, right? It shows him, like, giving coins away. And I thought it was a nice showing for the guy.
Giving coin away was, again, I think a really good one. I was really afraid they were going to show that, like, the guy he gave a coin away to, like, would go and, like, steal a loaf of bread. Like, you know what I mean? He was paying for something shady. But no, it looked like he was just being nice, giving some coin away.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah, I thought it was a good tribute for him. And then, again, it's just like, fuck off, dude. I don't know you're Arlen of Serpenitry. So, that sucks for his legacy, like he didn't.
I guess what I would have wished they spent this Arlen time on instead of this is, I think, like you said, the Sweetfoot part, when he sells Sweetfoot. What Dunk thinks is he's, like, really sad to sell Sweetfoot because that was the horse that he rode around. Maester was not Maester. Chestnut was too old, and Thunder was the war horse. Yeah. So he always rode around Sweetfoot. So now he's basically, like, selling a friend that carried him all over that carried Dunk himself all over the 7 kingdoms. Yeah. And Arlen, he thinks that Arlen always told him, don't love a horse because there's going to be a bunch that die underneath you, but he never listened to that either. He would always spend his last copper on an apple for a chestnut or whatever.
Cool details that you don't.
But again, it's details that make Arlen seem like a very selfless guy. He's spending his last copper on an apple for his horse, not a whore. Right? Not that. I have no problem with the horn. I think it's kind of funny. I think that's
too hung up on. I think you're too hung up on Arlen.
I am.
We'll
move on. People understand how I feel about Arlen.
Yeah, but I do think, to your point, like, you know, all these details like that. Like, that's something I would have forgot. Like, how he cared for Sweetfoot. Like, that's.
But I feel like you didn't have the same. Like, yeah, you forget the details, but I feel like after you read a story like this, you have the vibe. Like, you felt like Arlen was a more heartfelt guy than the show's depicting him. No.
Yeah, but we've barely seen Arlen. We've seen him spit. We've seen him hit him in the ear. We've seen him take a piss, and we've seen him ride through. Right, like.
Yeah, but a lot of the heartfelt moments that we love about Dunk, I feel like are like come after the old man always said, and then something we love about Dunk.
And I think we're gonna keep. What I'm saying is, I think we haven't really had Dunk until he's talked at the fire at the end of this episode, where he's, like, really talking about, like, all right, now it's time for our legacy because of, like, Sir Arlen wasn't this, so I'm gonna be it for him, kind of thing. Yeah. I think we're gonna get more of it, and I think, you know, when he stands up for Tansel and he gets arrested. Like maybe he like, well, I was protecting the ones who couldn't type shit. Like,
great segue. So the thing that I wrote down that I wanted to you remind me of was you said maybe we will get a flashback of Dunk. If we or of Arlen. If we do, I hope that's it. I hope that when
Aaron's beating the shit out of Tansel,
and breaking her fingers, that's when Dunk gets a flashback of Arlen saying,
"Protect those who
protect those who can't." Or something like that, right? And
I think we will. I think we will.
I hope we get a good one of them.
If not, then it would just be a waste. I feel like if he just jumps in and fights Aaron, just because it would be cool to tie in, like, this is what we do as true knights. We protect those who can't protect themselves. And then he does it. Or he does it and then he's in jail and thinks about Arlen saying it to him. One way or the other. I don't care the order.
And this is a weird question for you, and I know we're still not really even going in the chronological, but do you know one of my favorite Brienne lines? Maybe my favorite Brienne line from a Brienne chapter? It's in one of the last chapters of Feast for Crows.
I didn't have a choice. It's
no chance.
No chance. No chance or no choice.
Yeah, exactly. They come in. She's like, there was 7 against 1. She had no chance. And then she stepped out in the rain and drew her sword. No chance and no choice. So, and I think I said to you in our trailer reaction, because in the trailer we get the clip from episode 1 of Lionel Baratheon saying to Dunk. Dunk says, "What chance do I have against you and me? I might be strong and quick, but you're strong and quick too, and you've been training with the strongest people forever." And it's like, "What chance do I have?" And Lionel's like, "Oh, you have no chance." And then they cut it there in the trailer, and I was like, "Jeff, I bet you in the show they're going to say no chance and no choice." They didn't. Lionel just said he was too drunk and got up and walked away. But I think there was another point in this episode where maybe it was Dunk and Egg.
He would have a choice in this one. He could not enter the list.
Yeah, but I think that's what I was wondering. It's like maybe when Aerion breaks the fingers of Tansel, he'll get a flashback to like Arlen, and he'll say sometimes a true knight he might have no chance, but he also has no. I think that's a stretch too much that they're going to tie it to Brienne and Arlen and fix Arlen at the same time. But I think they will. I'm putting $5. I bet you $5. They will give us a no chance, no choice at some point in the season.
That's bold. I'll take your 5.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna. What I thought you were gonna say is like they're just gonna tie in Brienne. Like there's gonna be some kind of Tarth reference here.
I think we even hear in the novellas that there's a Tarth house here. So that's it. I think that's easy. But I think we'll hear no chance, no choice within a sentence or two of each other.
I do have a problem that people are too sold in on. I don't understand the timeline, and again, I don't care about timelines, but this one I do. How is Dunk or Brienne a descendant of Dunk? That doesn't make any sense to me.
All right, give me a second. We'll pause for a minute here. Give me a second. Look. Somebody actually commented this recently. Give me the answer for this.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Found it. Comment. There's enough evidence that Dunk is the ancestor of Brienne. However, if you are not aware, Aegon's sister will marry the Lord of Tarth. And there are some rumors that Dunk and Dela had an affair.
I don't like it.
The Lord of Tarth marries Egg's daughter.
I thought it was Egg's sister, but
yeah, Egg's sister. And then Dunk sleeps with Egg's sister.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And the baby, obviously, they say is a Tarth but it's not actually a Tarth. Now it's a Targaryen. So Brienne is actually not Tarth. She's Targaryen and Dunk.
And Dunk.
I don't like Targaryen, half Dunk.
I actually don't like it.
Again, I do not know. I haven't looked into this at all, but that is what this commenter said, and I believe him.
I just think it's bad for Dunk. It's bad look. It's bad look for our true knight. No, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean the thought is he's a late. I mean first off, if you're a knight sleeping around is fine. Once you're a Kingsguard, then there's a problem. He does at some point, but we don't know.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he can't do what he wants to do before his white cloak.
You're right. In general, having a baby out of wedlock is not good.
Or just like, oh, yeah, I'm about to marry this guy. Okay, well, let's go rendezvous really quick.
That's
or let's rendezvous while you're married. Like that's fucked up, Dunk.
Well, that's whole Rob thing, right? Is he slept with Jean Westerling and then had to marry her because.
Yeah, but Dunk didn't marry her.
Exactly. That's my point. Is Dunk
he shipped her off pregnant to
I'm agreeing
the next
with
guy.
you. You're right. Is that Dunk is not being as honorable as.
Let's just jump back into the deal.
Yeah.
Dunk is training with Arlen, and he's using a warhammer. Did you like that?
I actually didn't notice that.
Oh.
In the books, he always does say that I'm better with a sword, and I'm even better with a hammer or a mace. The thing that I liked about this that I thought you would like is he said like Arlen wasn't the best, but he had like an iron jaw, and he would just always get up and keep coming. Just
a marble chin, I think he said,
he was Rocky. Basically, he was giving me Marlon was Rocky. That's why I figured you would like about it.
Yeah, and he actually did look pretty good swinging that hammer dunk.
Just using his size, it's hard to just throw your weight around with a blunt object.
I like that Egg after Tyrell's. Then it's him and Egg walking through, and Egg's just like, fuck all these High Lords. Like, just join the list anyway. Like, just go take down. I forget which name he said then, but like, go take down this guy, and everybody will know your name then.
Which, yes, one thing before we get there is whoever was it, a Tyrell? I think you're right. I think it's the best depiction of Sourleaf, right? We see it in the books all the time. They have red teeth, and he spits it out. His teeth were so like I always thought it was like dip. His teeth, like dip, doesn't make you can have people that have like some dip in, and you can see the dip. Yeah, but you can like their teeth aren't brown. This guy's teeth, it looked like he had like a fucking slushy almost like.
I think people that dip these days are more aware that you need to like gargle water right after.
Like Zins. Back in the day, people have Zins.
When people could just Zin, you couldn't even tell. Throw chew all the time. I'm sure their teeth look pretty fucked up most of the day.
Over the long run, it makes your teeth bad. But I think this was like while it's in your mouth, it's staying. Like, go back and look at it. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, I didn't notice it the first time.
And the thing, I agree. I think the point they're trying to do here with Egg that you said is with him saying, "Don't listen to the High Lords." Is Egg is higher than these lords, so why would he listen to these guys? They're below him. But he also, I think he should have thrown in the enter as a mystery knight.
Yeah.
Because then you could. Like he says, just write it into the list. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like they call your name. There's a list. There's a fucking bracket, Egg. You can't just show up and
you show up as a mystery knight.
It's not like a line of people you get in and you just, I'm in the back of the line now. Like, no, there's a fucking tournament bracket. What are you talking about, Egg? You just show up. Mystery knight, you might be able to pull some magic, but even in the third one, when he does write as a mystery knight, I think he still has to put his name in.
Yeah. He went and told. I think he told Egg, "Go put me in as the gallows knight."
Yeah. Proof wasn't really required in that one, but whatever.
Yeah, I just liked how he was trying to hype him up and like say like screw these High Lords, like you can be the man. And then the dragons arrive.
Yep, Targaryens.
And again, I think it's funny. You like Dunk's not stupid enough. Dunk asks like one random guy like running through like, who's coming? And he's like, look at the fucking banners. Like, there's a couple.
That's right.
Quick
out of the
moments
novella.
like that is like, yeah, but that's one. And then the stable boy. So I think he does look like he looks like an idiot, just not in like main conversation.
And I think it's more again. I think it's more the editing. I wish they just had like a minute and a half more, and they would just not make Dunk respond so quick. Just make him respond make him just like okay, and then give him the exact same response in the exact same style. Just I feel like he's a little just too quick with it. But again, I'm just being nitpicky. But
you are. So Egg gets worried about the dragons arriving, and it's like, hey, I'll go back to camp. Really, the first clue of I think his true identity to this point.
Yeah, I mean, him being bald is one. Him saying my mom's dead. Like, there's just like the who is he type factor. But yeah, for sure,
you'd have to know some shit to know that his mom was dead, and that makes him a fucking Targaryen. And his bald is hiding his.
I just mean the question is like, okay, well, who is this kid? Because they had made it seem like he was the Inking's son, and when he's not, it's like, who is this kid? Is like, that's it.
I mean, again, if I was watching it for the first time with no just fucking random, the one thing I think maybe gives him away is. Obviously, his knowledge of all the knights and how eloquent he speaks is like the two giveaways.
One thing I've seen, which is cool, is he always says "my lord," and Dunk says "my lord."
You said that. I think you either said that to me off camera last week or during episode 1,
which is like a Tywin Arya thing from the main series, right? So.
I love. He was like, "I'll hunt you down with dogs," and he gives him the old laughing hand or the barking dog hand.
Yeah. It was actually funny because just today, earlier, this is weird. All right, now that I'm going to say it out loud in public, but in college, we used to have bark-offs.
Don't say we, you.
Other people competed. I'm just barking at myself. Maybe you didn't compete because you weren't fun, because you were a little Debbie Downer. But we had bark-offs.
It wasn't.
And I was a main competitor for sure every time, just like Dunk. So, yeah, it was funny just because our buddy sent us like an old Snapchat video from like 10 years ago of me dominating a bark off.
So we meet. You did not. I don't even know if you dominated. There was some pretty bad barks there. And I don't know why everybody was sweating so much.
It was hot there.
Baelor and Maekar get announced cool. I thought they were cool. I think they 2 more good characters.
Yeah, I like how they're doing them so far. Again,
Yeah.
Baylor, not as great as in novella so far. He's a little more warm-hearted even yet, but
Yeah, I thought I mean,
not
sure.
bad. Yeah.
Aaron rolls in. He's a dick.
Yeah, that's pretty much straight out of the novella too. That whole scene. Take my horse. I'm not a stable boy. One thing I've seen. This isn't even just about the show, but just like from looking at other people's analysis of the Hedge Knight over the years, is it's cool how Dunk, when he first sees Egg, mistakes him for a stable boy, and mistaking a Targaryen, and a Targaryen's mistaking Dunk for a stable boy, like probably intentional.
Yeah,
but yeah, cool. I think it's also kind of cool how this is new. Arian's horse gets spooked, and Dunk soothes it.
Yeah,
he kind of does end up taking care of Arian's horse at the end.
I don't recall.
Not in the novella, but here he does.
Oh yeah.
The horse gets spooked, and he takes care of it.
Yeah, he gets it over, and
yeah. And then he ends up talking to the Kingsguard. Right?
He,
the next part, which is kind of cool.
Basically acts like a stable boy. But yeah, so then we meet Craig and Donald. Are we meeting Craig and Donald because that's who he's going to fight? Like they're going to be a part of the other side?
They will, but he also meets them in the novella. He actually approaches them in the novella and just like, "Hey guys, what's up? You're a Kingsguard?" Or he's afraid that they're going to be competing and he might have to go against them in the normal tournament. And they're like, "No, because Targaryens are competing. It wouldn't be good for us to ride against ones where hit them." Yeah. So,
do you like the armor? I know that's something that fans have always been nutted up about.
I'm not a medieval armor expert. I did like the armor here, but
yeah. It gives stormtrooper vibes.
To me it seems more natural, I guess. Let me see. I can't even picture it off. It didn't jump off to me, but it didn't. Some of the other ones do as like a little too flashy.
I mean, it's just white. I think it's just all white, and then
the all white is good. I remember liking it when I saw like a full. I do like it. Yeah, I like it.
It's good. I think it's pretty book accurate. I don't think it's I'll say this, and maybe this is bad. I don't think it's the best version of Kingsguard armor we've seen. Just like in like complete style look.
Cersei as the Kingsguard, we're all black. I mean, in the show, so
and looked way cooler.
Bad take.
I think even maybe I think the House of Dragons probably cooler.
I do. That one's decent, but I like this one. I do like this one. I think
I like them too. I do like them. I think it's probably the most accurate.
All right. I thought I missed something when I was watching. Why does Dunk follow this lady into this door? Like, he ends up spying on the Targaryens by accident. Why does he follow just some random lady into a door she's going through? Like, what if that's just like some lady going into her house?
Yeah, I don't
follow her in. I thought I missed something. Like, wait, did I miss something?
It does make it kind of weird that he sneaks in, like he's kind of lurking, and then
I thought maybe it was. I thought I missed it, and it was maybe Tansel, and he was like trying to go catch up to Tansel to talk to her or something. But like, yeah, this makes no sense.
And then you get the little girl like tells him what's going on, and then tells him he's an idiot and runs away.
Yeah, do you know who that little girl is?
I'm trying to think of. No, I have no idea.
I mean, in the show, she's Lord Butterwell's daughter, who this whole tourney's about. She's like the maid of blood and beauty. Basically, what the tourney setup is, there's 5 champions who are meant to defend her. The idea is they're gonna beat every challenger, and then at the end they're gonna name her love and beauty. If they lose, then whoever wins at the end can either
take their spot. Well, they take their spot, right?
Take their spot, and then at the end, the 5 winners, whoever's at the champions at the end, confer, and either she stays love and beauty or they name somebody else. So that's how this one whole works. But yeah, that's who she is. So yeah, we don't ever talk to her in the books. All she ever says is, all Dunk ever thinks about her is Tansel's hotter. So
yeah, before we get in there, just a stable boy telling him, "Are you Baelor Targaryen? Then get the fuck out of the way." Like, that was great.
Pretty good.
Dunk overhears that Darren and Aegon are missing.
Yep.
And then Dunk gets called in and he pleads to Baelor, let me ride.
Yep.
That was cool. I enjoyed the.
So I guess the thing that I don't like about this scene, again, it's very nitpicky. In the books, when Dunk's basically saying, I think he's talking to Lord Ashford, and he's like, no one will vouch for me. He's like, everyone's saying they don't know who Sir Arlen is. And Baelor's like, I know who Sir Arlen is. Here, he has to ask. He's like, I know stories of you. And again, it makes sense because he already knows who Baelor is. In the books, he doesn't know who Baelor is. So when the guy says, I know Arlen, he just thinks it's some random guy who happens to know Arlen. He's like, yes, thank God.
I think it would speak to Baelor more if he spoke out for Sir Arlen and Dunk on his own than like kind of being talked into it here, I guess is what you're saying.
Here's where I'm going to decide on Baelor, and I think they'll probably do it right. They'll probably have to, because Baelor fights for Dunk at the end, so they have to give him a little bit of a connection at some point. The moment for me is after Dunk gets caught, or after Dunk gets arrested for helping Tansel. Baylor eventually meets with him, and he's like, "Hey, I might have done the same thing you did in your place, but I'm not you. I'm allowed to beat the shit out of Arian because he's a little snot-nosed fuck. You can't." And he's like, "So the question is, how good a knight are you?" And Dunk's like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Your only chance really is trial by combat, like, or else you're going to lose a hand." And he's like, "So how good a knight are you?"
Right.
And if they do that scene right, because in that scene, again, the way the book reads, he's really he's on Dunk's side, like he's trying to help him. Here, to me, it doesn't seem like he's really on either side. So I feel like you could
let him joust.
I feel like you could do that scene either way, where they could do it where like, okay, well, are you a good knight? Because your only real chance here is trial by combat. Where that's not how I read it in the book. It's more of like
chopped off.
It's like a, hey buddy, listen to me. Like, come here. For real. Think about it. Your best chance could be. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that scene's when I'm going to make my decision on Baylor.
Okay.
So right now I'm on the fence.
Big decisions ahead.
I'm on the fence.
Makor,
I think they nailed him.
Yeah, he was good. Like his
when he I forget when he does it, but he does a great at some point.
And his reaction when he's like, "Oh, we won't find your son's dead." He's like, "Did you just fucking say that?"
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny, and then he gets told that he has to rock with a new sigil.
Yeah.
Was he told that before?
Yeah, exact same. Hey, you're not his blood. You need a new sigil.
And then he sees the Florian play. I didn't take any note of it.
I knew I was going back, so I didn't take note.
I wrote it because it was Florian, and we know who Florian is, and we get Jonquil and shit.
The big interesting thing is Florian's a puppet, and Jonquil's not. So to me, Florian's gonna get his head cut off in a later scene.
Right.
So it's a fake head. And in the trailer, I think we see Dunk holding that head. People are like, "What was that?" And some people thought it was a dream sequence, but no, I think it was that Florian puppet head. So
is Tansel putting on like episode by episode? She's not even giving full plays out.
I'm guessing for this one, or maybe I'm guessing for at least for this one.
Part 1. You got a part 1 of Florian and Jonquil.
Yeah, because I think Florian killing a dragon is what gets her in trouble. So
yeah,
we'll see. But
Dunk and Egg then talk to Tansel.
Yep. Again, good scene.
I thought it was a great scene. And Egg kind of like looking at Dunk like, "You fucking idiot."
Yeah, you're fumbling the bag right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of the scenes one for one from the book. Get the shield painted. Egg comes up with the tree idea. Falling star.
Yeah. I like the convo at the tug of war. I don't know if this was this a convo somewhere else, or is it all just new? Like, oh, I can't be a knight. I'm too puny. Like, well, I'm stupid.
Yeah. So what are you gonna say? I was like, are you gonna help me? He's like, what are you gonna help me do? Grow?
Yeah.
When I first heard that, I thought he meant like, what am I supposed to help you like grow as a person? It's like, yeah, it's kind of what you promised him when you signed up. But then he's like, no, he means like, how am I gonna help you grow bigger? Yeah, you talked about being puny, so kind of funny. Lionel comes over, tug of war, funny.
Lionel's an interesting character.
If I'm stretching, foreshadowing Dunk in the mud, he's gonna win the fight with Arian in the mud, not on the horse. They end up doing it flea bottom style.
Yeah, Egg being a part of the tug of war too was awesome.
He started off kind of helping. He became useless at the end.
Yeah, but just like his face, like how intense he was trying to pull, and then he just get pulled off the rope. But
yeah, well, and from interviews I've seen, the actor just said like that was by far his favorite day of filming. So I know the actor. Kid's like a 9-year-old kid. He's not even acting.
Fuck yeah, tug of war.
He's not even acting. He's just playing. He's just playing tug of war straight up. Like no job required.
Dunk goes to Steely Pate, then gets his armor. I wish we did know going into it. I mean, I know in the last episode he was like, "Gods, no, I don't have enough money to ransom my thing back." But I know in the book he's like, "I got 10 stags, right? I might be able to get dinner now here."
Just give us like a quick scene when he's at the bar, maybe
he's
after
counting.
After the guy throws down the gold, where he throws down like a paper clip, a ball of lint, and 3 coppers, because that's pretty much all he's got. Exactly.
So we could put into, because he did start off by saying like, "Oh, I could sell you 3 horses and eat like a king," which we know he doesn't have much, but like how much does he really, like how much is 600 stags to him right now? Which we know it's fucking everything. Like it's not even close.
I love it because when I get into how much exactly he has in the books, that's when you're like, oh my god, Nelson, no one cares. Come on.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. A little
Just
bit of
tell
sense.
me, like,
a little bit of sense would
Yeah,
be a
just
good idea.
throw out 4 coins and be like, fuck, that's all I got left.
Thoughts on Steely Pate?
From what I remember, I thought that was pretty accurate.
He's supposed to be way shorter, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
I think it's just Dunk not big enough.
All the lines are accurate. Again, I think I'm just kind of spoiled by Harry Lloyd's audiobook, who he does such a good job with all the characters. Steely Pate just seems a little more animated. I don't hate it. It's just a different take on the character.
This guy was just banging the hammer.
He's more like a little nonchalant, like not giving a fuck, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
I only do this, I only do that. Yeah. So
I don't really remember him being that animated maybe at the beginning. Maybe again as he joins forces with Dunk a little bit more, and like they have
again all the dialogue's 1-to-1, so I don't know why. I think that it might be a thing where it says like here I feel like every time if I was writing the book, it would be like he growled. If I was writing this scene that I just watched in a book, like that's how I describe how this guy was talking. Whereas I feel like that's not how it's described in the books. It's more like he jumped up on a stool and was like, "Whoa, I've armored bigger!" Like instead of like I've armored bigger. Okay. So again, that might just be the how I read it versus the how.
Not a small dude either. He's fucking huge.
He's huge, exactly. So again, that's a slight difference. So who cares?
So
all the dialogue's 1-to-1. Can't be mad. I like it.
So he goes over and tells Sweetfoot. I thought that was a nice scene.
Yeah, again, good, sentimental.
I thought you would be crying. I thought you would have teared up there. Got a little, just because you tend to tear up.
Yeah, again, just in the books, there's more to be emotional about there. He thinks about how Arlen used to treat his horses. Also, he had Sweetfoot. Again, I'm not going to be nitpicky, but where did he get Sweetfoot from? In the book, he had Sweetfoot with him. That's why he was at the castle. He had gone there to try and sell Sweetfoot to the castle stableman. And the castle stableman's like, get the fuck out of here. Go sell him to the town stableman. Like, I have more important shit to do. The Targaryen just showed up.
Yeah.
In the books, he didn't have Sweetfoot when he was at the castle. So, and then he just like all of a sudden it's nighttime and he has Sweetfoot. So he had gone back to camp, got Sweetfoot from Egg.
We can't do all that.
Again, I'm not being nitpicky about it.
You are
now I'm being nitpicky, but it's like so less to be sentimental about because in the book, Sweetfoot's with him all day and he's thinking about how sad he is about having to sell Sweetfoot. So but sad.
Read the novella then.
Again, they didn't do it horrible, but I didn't cry about it.
And then Dunk
and Egg at the bar.
Dunk and Egg at the bar talking about joining the Targs.
Yeah, kind of funny. Egg's like, I thought this was funny when Egg's like, do you think they take Hedge Knights?
Yeah.
It's kind of like looking down on Dunk, like, we wouldn't.
Well, it's also the royal family. Like,
yeah, but he's part of them. He's basically saying, we wouldn't take you. You're not good enough for us.
But I think it goes back to what he said early on. It was like, fuck these royal high fucks. Like, they would look down. They're looking down on us anyway. Like,
and then he looked down on Dunk right there.
I think it's just that. I don't think it's Egg looking down on Dunk. It's just Egg telling Dunk the truth.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. The thing that I'm most interested about in this episode is I don't think we knew anything about Donald of Duskendale.
Okay. I don't care about
and here there's the kind of like the weird moment where when he's talking to Dunk, he's like, how did you go from a crabber to Kingsguard?
The same way we became a crabber.
Yeah, and he's like, the same way I became a crabber.
And he's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can't make any sense of that.
Well, here when he's talking to Egg, he's like, if Donald Duskendale can go from becoming a simple crabber to Knight of the Kingsguard, and Egg's like, what are you talking about? His dad owns half the crabbing fleets in Westeros. Like, it's a fucking monopoly, bro. Like, those two, what does that mean? Rich. So, but then how did he become a crabber? Like, I was born into it.
They bought his way. He was born into it.
I was born into it. I was bought my way. So basically telling Dunk, again, you have no chance. Is that what that?
Yeah, maybe.
And no choice.
I mean, yeah, if you put all of that together, like, well, he didn't fucking grind his way to this. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess he's just a high lord.
Donald didn't grind his way into it, so.
But what Donald told Dunk at the beginning was, I'm not a
Dark Star?
I'm not a Darkland of Duskendale.
Darkland, yeah. I don't know what that means.
I think they're just probably just different branches of that family, I guess, and one just wasn't the one that owned the castle, but they happen to be rich as fuck. So, still close.
Yeah.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. I think that's true, too, because I think what I know, remember when Brienne was at Duskendale, there's the inn called, I think, the Seven Swords, because the Duskendale line had 7 children on the Kingsguard. I think this guy actually doesn't count, and I think I knew that. And I think it's because he wasn't part of the main Duskendale line. So
interesting. No, I didn't.
I'd have to double check that, so don't hold me to my word on that fact, but I think that's true.
Yeah. So horn sounds.
Yes. Cool.
We get the first joust gets set up. It was dope. We meet Valar.
Valar. That's how I would say it. But again, pronunciations don't matter.
George they did pronounce it in the episode.
George says Cersei and Dothraki.
Well, he's crazy.
And he has said pronunciation doesn't matter, so.
They pronounced it in this episode, so he obviously approved. But then
he approved them to say Cersei in the TV show, and he still says Cersei. It doesn't matter. He says pronunciation doesn't matter. The right way is Valar. What I'll say is when they pronounce Makar, it was like Makar.
Makar?
It made it sound like a fucking parrot or something. What's that? Isn't there a bird? A macaw? Dude, no, he's Makar.
Makar
Targaryen. What are we talking about?
What was the name Glow always butchered?
Kavan.
Kavan. Get the fuck out of here. It's Kevin.
It's not Kevin, but there's an A.
You shut up.
I don't know what it is.
All right, so the first jousts are dope. Egg is just on the shoulders, like going nuts, which I thought was really cool. Like the emotion he showed, like Dunk was like taking it back. I think it gave the vibe that Dunk didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah, like he'd almost never seen this before, which is weird because he should have seen this before. I think it's more of like
he should have been throwing lances into.
I think it's more of just like a holy shit, I'm in way over my head. Like I'm gonna be out there tomorrow. In the books, it's in 3 days, but I'm gonna be out there tomorrow, and I'm not ready for this. I think it's kind of what that was supposed to be. Yeah. My question for you is, why did Egg want to get down?
I don't know.
Did he think because like he was sticking out and all his family was across?
No. It's right after he's worried about, like, giving him the lance, I think, right? Like, he sees the squires doing their job of, like, running back and forth, and then he looks at his hands, and then he gets down. Like, does he want to go pick up a lance to see if he can, like, run with it? Like, I don't know.
That's fair. Like, I didn't even think about that, but when I was watching, when I saw the squires running, I'm like, damn, like, that's not an easy job, like, for a 9-year-old. Like,
and they're, like, right in the middle of it all.
That's a 12-foot war lance, like... Yeah, there's horses running. I mean, for the most part, I think it's 1v1. So I don't think you have to worry as much about getting run over by other horses, but it's a fair point. I didn't think that's what Egg was worried about, but I didn't really notice. I was confused by it, and I just assumed he was worried about getting noticed because his family was dead across and he was a foot taller than everybody else. So
he was standing out there. He was standing out because he was on his shoulders. So I would have been like, yo, down in front. Get the fuck down.
Because he immediately goes down and then gets right back in it. Like, he immediately goes back to cheering. So he's not worried anymore.
Yeah, he moves up to the...
Yeah, if he was worried about if he was worried about the lances, he would still be worried, right? But
it's good. I don't think
Dunk's going through some like weird PTSD, even though he's never been out there. He's worried about what's gonna come.
Like Arlen's dying and shit.
And then how does he get out of that? It just cuts.
To Egg fighting the Blackfires, which
kind of cool.
I thought you would have an issue with it.
So here's the thing.
You said that they would do this.
Yeah. Well, George wrote Game of Thrones. For people who don't know, the Blackfire Rebellion's a big Targaryen rebellion that happened 9 years, no, more than that, like 12 years or 16 years before this took place. Baelor and Makar are huge players in it. They're like basically the two biggest heroes on the Targaryen side. The problem is, the way that these books came out, George wrote Game of Thrones. Then there was this huge anthology. George wasn't a well-known writer. A huge anthology with people like Stephen King and I don't know who else, but like basically a bunch of really well-known writers at the time. And they're like, George, you have to write a story that's in your own world that already exists. And it has to be a novella. And we're going to put out like 10 of these little short stories together. So he wrote this. It was the second thing. It came before Clash of Kings. Then he writes Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords. Then when he writes Feast of Crows and Dance with Dragon, that's when the other two novellas start coming out. I think it's after Storm of Swords is when the second novella, then Feast of Crows, third novella, then Dance with Dragons. If you've read the second and third novellas, you know the Blackfires... that rebellion is really important. I mean, it's in the past still, but basically the whole point of those
becomes a major.
Well, the whole point of those is the political tensions are still very high from that rebellion, and those stories take place after this story. But the thing is, George hadn't even thought of that rebellion and thought of that like
during the
Civil War when he wrote these books. Exactly. So it's not mentioned once, but it should be. Like it should be. There should be people talking about the Blackfire.
It's history. It's in the history. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
If George could rewrite the Hedge Knight, I doubt he would do very much to change it at all. But I bet he would put a few mentions of the Blackfire.
Yeah, and I think the way that they did it here with Egg pretending to fight the Blackfires, maybe that's another like little hint. But again, if you don't know anything about the Blackfire Rebellion, then it doesn't give
exactly. It doesn't matter at all. Exactly, it doesn't matter one way or the other. But it's a hint if you know. It's a cool Easter egg. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what? Dunk has this heartfelt.
Like, I'm going to be the man because Arlen wasn't.
because he told me to. Well,
did he? To your point, he didn't tell him.
That's not what Dunk's really saying. I guess Egg's saying he wasn't a great knight because no one knew of him, which I think is a bad. I don't know. That's a bad lesson.
Nobody will remember your name, Arlen. That's what Achilles would tell you.
That's a cool hype moment, and it makes sense for Dunk because Dunk does become one of the most famous knights ever. But I don't know. I feel like the whole vibe of Dunk is you don't need to be a famous person to do the good thing.
Being famous isn't the motivating factor.
Like Dunk becomes famous because he always does the right thing. He doesn't do the right thing because that's what he's trying to get famous.
He wants to be a known knight. Yeah.
And that's kind of what it's making it seem like here is like Egg's like, oh, no one ever knew of him because he sucked. And Dunk's like, I'll be better than him. Like, I don't know. It's not.
Yeah. That's not the motive. The motivation is not to be better than Sir Arlen.
It's just to do the right thing.
I kind of took it as like let's honor Sir Arlen by being better than him.
Yeah, which again, I think to me that depends a lot on what that means. Depends a lot on what Dunk took from Arlen's teachings.
Yeah,
was it just we want to be famous? I doubt it, but because he's giving the coin to the poor guy. I'm So,
all right, rating episode.
That's the end of it, right? What's the very end?
Yeah, that's it. It goes end scene. I'm gonna give it an 8-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Again, if you gave episode 1 in the 9s, you just have nowhere to build to, which you're crazy.
I'm going 8.5. I think that most of the humor landed for me. I think the big dick Arlen thing hits better than the poop thing. They didn't do Arlen perfect for me, but again, even though I feel like I was being very negative, they're nitpicks. And I feel like they're swinging the needle the right way for Arlen and just not doing it fast enough for me. They put him on a bad foot for me on the first episode. So, yeah.
These 2 episodes could have been 1 episode for me, like it would have been longer, right? Hour 15 or so. And I think it would have been a really cool first episode then if it was one. I would have taken 1 long episode versus these 2 broken up, just because I think episode 1 was, I thought episode 1 was light of content. I thought this one was kind of jam packed with like, we were here, we met this, like we were bouncing around in this episode, and I thought we were bouncing around in the first episode too, but like bouncing around to nothing, right? Like we a lot of time like trying to see Dondarrion, and then we were kind of around Lionel, but then it was back to Dondarrion, and
I don't know. The mission's still the same. It's still get in the tournament and
but now you get the Targaryens are there.
Yeah, they're in the mix.
That's cool. Stilly Pate. We're getting some armor. We got some sigils. We got some this.
The action was cool too. Like for real, the tourney, even though it was only like a couple minutes, the action was dope.
It was about 45 seconds, and it was awesome.
It was at night, which makes no sense, but it was cool.
Nah, a little night. It's always better in the lights.
I think there's actually a night joust in the mystery night. You probably didn't notice, but I think the joust when Glendon and John the Fiddler joust, I think is at night, the very end.
I knew that. It's raining. I know.
It's pre-dawn because the army shows up at dawn.
The night is darkest just before the dawn.
But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna give it a 8.5. Maybe 8.6.
Yeah, I'm climbing. I went 7.2 to 8.1. I thought it was
because if I think my 7.6 is low for the first one.
I
can't change it now. I'm sticking with it. But
I'm not changing. I think it was accurate.
You think to what you said 8.1?
8.1 this episode.
Okay,
7.2 episode 1. And again, like be subjective. You guys are just hype. If you think it was a 9, you're just hyping it up too much because Dunk and Egg are on your screen.
Again, I think I could get away with it because I don't have social media. But if I didn't have a Game of Thrones podcast, I think I would not watch this show. This is what I tell everybody at work that asks me, like, "Oh, is that a good show?" I'm like, "I love it. It's my favorite book. It's based on my favorite book, and so far, I think they're doing it justice." And this is what I was saying after episode 1. But I would wait till it's all out and just watch it all as one big movie or like 2 sittings.
Oh yeah, House of Dragon for sure was much more like I can't wait to see what fucking happens this week.
Yeah. Like it's more week to week. I feel like this feels like parts of a movie.
It's just a little bit more sitcom-y though, right? Like the story of Dunk and Egg. It's not the story of the fucking biggest civil war of a family or just Game of Thrones where people are fucking dying left to right. Like I know shit will pop off at some point in these stories, but like for the most part, it's like the story of a fucking knight and a squire, right?
Yeah.
And just their daily lives.
Maybe when I say this, it'll give you some ideas, but on the rewatch of episode 1, I was getting big, and I know they're not even together that much, but I was getting big Shrek and Donkey vibes. And I think it was the music. The music is very similar to like some of the Shrek and Donkey, like when they're just like walking around, like background, like very low key, whatever it is, like violin, like doo doo.
They did an interview, and again, I am on social media, so I saw it, and it was Dunk and Egg's actors, and they were like, "Oh, well, you guys are like, if Batman and Robin, if Robin was really little," and then they did say Shrek and Donkey. And
yeah, I think I saw a clip of that interview too.
It was funny.
I think on the rewatch, it's the music that reminds me of it. The music reminds me of Shrek 2, OG Shrek 1.
And then I saw the face. Dun, dun,
Not that music, but like.
I'm a believer.
All right, see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.